Till that love was through the skin. Yes, the science creates a feeling again. Feeding frenzy to reach the top. The rat race, no, it won't stop. Till that love was through the skin. Yes, the science creates a feeling again.
We don't have a lot of time on this earth, but we're meant to spend it this way.
Here we are again.
Yo, what's up, everybody? You know what this is, and you know why you're here. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles live, worldwide, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, Your Core Hardcore fan page, and the Texas Silver Rush. Wow, it's a Saturday, and we're doing a show. We're doing a bonus show. Exciting. How's everybody doing? What's going on? Let me see. What's up? What's up, fucko? What's happening, Lenny? Upstate Rick. What's up, May, Vinny, the whole gang? Robert, what's up? Good to see everybody from around the world. Have an interesting show today. Looking forward to this. I hope you are too. Yeah, Saturday. Cool day to do a show, right? As if you didn't know, just a reminder that tomorrow is Jay Peta from Mind Force and Pillars of Ivory on the show. So we'll be back tomorrow. You know, don't go far. We'll be back tomorrow. What's up in Bremen, Adrian? What's up? Scott Alder, what's up, brother? How's things? How's things in England? Philippe, what's up, brother? Hope you're well. Manny in Germany, my man. There you go. Is that Belgium? Is that Belgium or is that Belgium? Is that a place? Belgium? Or do you mean Belgium? Love that Slayer Biohazard Machine Head poster, Drew. I was at both those. That Slayer Biohazard Machine Head poster is signed by all three people, and you could see the laminate from the tour. That's the tour laminate, right? Yeah, it was some crazy shows. What's up, Bob Riley, my man in upstate New York? Hope you're well, Bob. Maddie in Copenhagen, holding it down in Copenhagen, my kind of town. Is that poster still for sale? Nah, not really. You know, south of France. Where in the south of France are you, bro? Are you in Nice? I've been to Nice a bunch of times. I love Nice, man. Hey, Laura, how you doing? How's the dating circuit going, hon? You know, everything all right in the dating game? All right. All right. Hey, Travis, how you doing? All right. So listen, let's keep it moving and grooving here. Jay Peta's on the show. Good to see everybody on this Saturday around the world. Really appreciate all the support. Just thrilled. The show has an audience, and I'm doing something I love doing. What's up? Is it corny to wear your own merch? I'm wearing my own merch. You know, that's like the corniest thing when dudes in bands do their own thing, you know, like wear their own merch. Is that corny? What do you think? Put it in, when you see a guy in a band wearing his own band, like I never do that. It's corny, you know? It's beer time, huh? All right, that said, let's keep it moving. Let's bring on Steven Messina. What's up, bro?
What's up?
Whoa, you working today?
Yeah, I'm actually on the west side today.
Wow, that's a nice train. What is that?
This is an M7. This is our regular train.
An M7?
You know, M7 is the recent one. We just put out the M9s, which are the brand new ones, which are actually pretty cool looking.
Those are cool.
Oh yeah, now here, look, it's right next to me. There it is.
Oh, let me see.
That's a beauty right there.
Wow. Are those out in service, or are those out there?
Yeah, they're out there. They got outlets in every seat. It's like state of the art shit. You know, it's really good.
I'm sure they're getting dogged already, right? I'm sure. People are animals, man. People are animals, especially on the LIRR. You always hear stories on the LIRR about like all the horrific stuff happens on the LIRR, you know?
Yeah, you know, the one thing, I'll give you a quick funny one. I once saw a guy in a 3-piece suit sitting directly across from me take off one of his shoes and socks and start clipping his toenails
Oh.
on the train.
Yo, I see that on the New York City subway all the time. Not their feet, but people on the subway clipping their nails. I've seen it many times.
Yeah, but your toenails? You savage?
What is this? Anyway, let's do photo of the day, okay?
Yeah, I want to say something before we do this. This is a special one.
Yeah.
This is a special one because usually the photo of the day is one of my photos. Today, this is not one of my photos, but this was something that I had commissioned by a really, really talented artist, and I'm going to let Drew show it, and then I'll talk about it. So here we go.
Okay. Wrong answers only, please.
Here we go.
Here we go.
No.
What do we have here? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Steven Messina, Hardcore Shutterbug, photo of the day. Boom. Ah! I saw this. This is cool. This is cool. All right, let's see. Wrong answers only, please. This should be funny. Okay. Sid the Kid. Okay. Is it the Drab 4?
The Drab 4.
Wait, I saw a good one already. Is it the Marx Brothers? Yeah, kind of. Is it 2 Live Crew? Is it the Crazy Gang? Is it Sick of It All? Good one, May. Good one. Yes, that's a good one. Is it Menudo spelled wrong? I like that. Manuto. Is it Manuto? Is that the first Kiss picture without makeup? Is it the Smashing Pumpkins? Good one.
Oh, man.
That's good. I can see that. Is it Mo? That's Is it Mo? That's funny. All right, that's funny.
Oh, man.
Oh, Mo, Larry, Curly, and Shemp. You know? Is it Right Said Fred? Is it fucking Devo?
It is fucking Devo.
Fucking Devo! Oh, what else? Is it Sugar Ray? All right. Is it the Fordham Baldies? Good one, Joe Amato.
Nice.
Good one. All right. Here we go. What do we got here?
All right. So the story is, this is made by a gentleman named Mick Lambrow from Melbourne, Australia. He's just a phenomenal artist. He's done some beautiful work. I've been a fan of his stuff for quite some time now, and he watches the show, and and I kind of told him just go with whatever inspires you, and I absolutely love it. I think it's amazing. I think he did a beautiful job, and he's even got Daryl the cat basically up there on the roof, and I think it's great. You know what? This show means a lot to me, to be a part of it, and these 3 guys, and I wanted something to basically to put in my collection, and this is kind of like a time capsule, and I just think he did a beautiful job. I think he made us better looking than we really are. Yeah,
he did. It's some really nice work. I mean, he really captured everyone's features, and like Lenny says, this picture actually makes us look good. I can't complain. I look pretty hard in it. I look pretty good, and it really kind of captures all our personalities.
Oh, so, I think so, and I think it's what it just I love like you and I both been to a bunch of chillers. Like I love going to all the artists like at Comic-Con and getting commissions of various things, and this was just a really beautiful piece, and he's shipping me the original from Australia, at which time I will be framing that up and hanging it up, and I just think it came out great. It really did.
Yeah, man, cool. It's great, man, and he did great work. Hey, we got to put it on a shirt or something. That would be cool.
That'd be awesome. Maybe make stickers or something.
Cool. All right, man. Well, listen, we'll check in with you later. Let's keep it moving and grooving.
You got it.
Thanks, buddy. There you go. Stephen Messina, Hardcore Shutterbug. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, The Organic Grill, and Your Core Hardcore fan page. In the wake of the pandemic, Your Core Chris created Your Core fan page, utilizing lessons learned from over 20 years of being an educator and social worker. He decided to try to reach where hardcore punk and the surrounding genre of bands create not only their music, but their message. The interviews are from a psychological perspective to harvest motivation, personal insight, and perspective. Please reach out to them on Facebook or Instagram if you have content to share or if you want to promote your band, Your Core fan page. Reach out to Chris, even if your band sucks. And if your band doesn't suck that much, that helps too. How about New York Hardcore Comics? They opened back in 2013 when lifelong friends Debo the Pro and Lee Fraley combined their collection of sessions for comic books, punk rock, toys, statues, magic, the gathering, and all things horror. The store is located at 117 Main Street in Dobbs Ferry, New York. If you want to support them during this pandemic, please contact them via email at newyorkhardcorecomics@gmail.com. Other than that, you know what? I want to get, what was the answer to, is it corny if you wear your own stuff? Don't be that guy. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Let me see. Wearing your own merch is mad corny. That's what I always thought. You know what I mean? Like, I never wear my own merch, you know. That said, I'm wearing, hey, but you know, band merch, like, you know, that's kind of corny. I always thought. The message on the shirt is cool and so true. Well, thank you. Hey, by the way, I got to hustle here. You know, there's a link underneath there. Go check out the merch. Go check out the merch. The holidays are coming up. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Do good things, and good things will come to you. Shirts and sweatshirts. We just launched that. Yeah. So what's up, Scott? How you doing? That said, what's happening with Rat Bones? I know you're all wondering. Let's see what's up with
Rat Bones! Rat Bones! Rat Bones! Rat Bones! Rat Bones! Rat Bones!
What's up, bro?
What's up, guys?
What's crapping it?
Bonus episode.
Bonus.
I'm excited. I'm excited today, man. I had a really good day at the flea market this morning. Probably before most of you were up, I had already made a huge score, and I get so excited with the toys. It's like, that's all I do is toys. That's my gig. That's what I like to chase. That's what I like to do. So I got up this morning. I went to the flea market, and I just hit the mother load. And it's going to be the whole month of December. Every show will be from this, what I just scored today. And I'll start it off slow. I only got one really good piece. I'm not going to show everything that I bought, but let's see if you guys can guess what I bought. And this will be the teaser. This is the original storybook from Star Wars. I think I got this at the book fair when I was just a kid. It was only like $4 or $5, and it goes for about $50 today. And I got that one. And I have the Empire Strikes Back official collection, collector's edition. And this too, like, you know, when you were really into something back then, we didn't have all this technology and everything. If you wanted to know more about Star Wars, like, you had to have the official collector's guide to, like, get the info, understand what's going on, where the story's going. You know, it's easy to, when things have already been said and done, to forget, like, how it was when you were really searching for shit. So basically what I found today was a whole 1977-78 Star Wars collection, what I would call, this is what we call an attic find.
An addict, like up in the attic?
Even though I found it in the flea market, it's an attic find because it's all together still. And you can tell, I mean, I'll show one quick thing. This is the collector's case from 1978, the original collector's case. And once I saw this, I was trying to get it off the guy right away. I wanted this for like $100, and he wouldn't do it. he wanted to sell the whole thing for $500. Well, I didn't pay $5 for it, but you know, when you find them like this and they're all together and the guns and they're so minty fresh.
Wow.
The joints are very tight.
Yo, Bob Riley knows. Bob Riley's a psychotic collector himself.
Yeah,
as we all know, you might have seen Riley's Attic, those segments that I put up a couple years ago. He's a big collector, Bob Riley.
He doesn't sell, but I would love to get in his attic. But I just want to say real quick, show you a couple of these, how white and clean and minty. You know, with stuff like this, it's always conditioned. And these limbs are nice and tight. A lot of times they jiggle and the limbs move around. But those stormtroopers are so white, dude. Are they blinding you out there? So, yeah, man, to find this. And I just want to show 2 more pieces and we'll let you guys move on. Because
go ahead.
Tonnage now. But this also was in there. And I bought this in one.
Oh, wow. What is that thing called?
The Tauntaun.
The Tauntaun?
Yeah. Another interesting thing, like when you buy something, like whatever kid had this, he had, you know, the Hoth stuff. And he has got a Dagobah. And it's got all the figures with all the play sets that I bought. So it's like cool when you get it in. This was some kid's whole collection. I won't separate it into my stuff. You know, it's basically not for sale right now. So, and then this last piece here is always hard to find because it has a lot of missing parts. And it's also from Empire Strikes Back, the Snow Speeder.
Oh, wow. Is that this?
What do you got?
Is that this?
Yeah, yes, sir.
That's the original box?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
That with the box is like, you know, $425, you know, $400 toy. And the thing is, see how that canopy's missing there?
Yeah.
You know, the canopy's always missing. So, you know, it's man.
Nice.
The only thing this is missing is there's a little anchor cable that clips right here, and it's got a little harpoon on it, the tow cable. So yeah, man, I really scored big. I mean, I could go on.
Good for you, brother.
And the other cool piece that was in there, because when you buy a whole table off the guy like that, you know, you never know what you're going to get. Like I basically got home and I had to dig it all out and see. This piece is worth about $150. And it's from not Star Wars, but Battlestar Galactica. Because if you remember, Star Wars was so huge, TV wanted a piece of that action, and they came out with Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, Battlestar Galactica. You know, there was other things. And the thing that makes this piece so much money is that little guy. I mean, he's always missing, right? Wait, where is he at? This little guy, you know?
Yo, Steve Malibu, what's happening? Steve Malibu, brother.
Yeah, man. So.
All right, cool.
Great day today. I scored big. I was running out of stuff, but now it will be Star Wars December. I hope you're all watching The Mandalorian because it's incredible. If you're into that kind of thing, even if you're not, it's an incredible, you know, show. So it's already on the 4th episode in the 2nd season. Mandalorian, Star Wars all day, baby. You know.
Cool. All right, listen. We'll bring you back on later on with our guest.
Yep, and our guest. Can't wait to talk to him too. You know.
All right, we'll see you in a bit.
All right, man.
All right. Well, there you go. Lots of Star Wars stuff. Senor Ratbones. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, and Your Core Hardcore fan page. Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, located in Lakewood, Colorado, is the Rocky Mountain headquarters for all things punk, hardcore, and metal. Established in 2014, they have the largest selection of records, CDs, shirts, stickers, patches, and accessories between Chicago and Los Angeles. From the pit to the ditch, they got your back. Get in touch with them at www.chainreactionrecords.com. That said, let's bring on our guest. Is everybody ready? Everybody got their heads straight? All right. Let me clear the deck a little bit. I'm excited about this one. Hell yeah on a Saturday. Huh? Worldwide on a Saturday. Crazy. So much for a day off. No days off in my world, man. God. I'm blessed. I'm doing something I love doing. So shit. I'm good. I hope I never leave this apartment. I hope I stay here forever and I never leave. I don't even want you. The only contact I want is through this computer. I don't even want to be around humans anymore. They disgust me. Freaks. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. Today's guest is an American martial arts enthusiast and musician born in Taiwan and raised in Hong Kong, now living in New York City. He's a competitive Muay Thai boxer, and as a guitarist, he is best known for his work with the hardcore bands Living in Ruins, Gravemaker, and Outbreak. Recently in New York City, he was involved in an incident where he subdued a potentially mentally ill person who was attempting to abduct a baby from a mother's stroller. When hailed a hero after the incident, he was quoted as saying, quote, "The bar for being a hero should not be this low. It should be a duty, a civic duty for all to do." Throughout the whole thing, it became clear that this man actually had mental issues. If I let go, who knows what the people around us would have done. Please welcome Worldwide Hardcore Tribe represent Mr. Brian Kemsley. What's up, bro?
What's up, dudes? That's quite the intro. I feel like if anyone's having a bad day, you should just call people up and do intros for them. You cheer them right up.
I'm getting good at it.
It makes me feel like I accomplished something in my life.
Listen, man, you kind of did, man. I mean, listen, you know what brought me to you and why I gravitated to you was your humility in the situation. Honestly, it was like, you know, I'm a born and raised New Yorker, you know. And I related to the situation, and you know, your attitude was, hey, I'm not a hero. The frontline people are heroes. You know, I was just taking care of some business here. You know, somebody was trying to, it seemed like a really stressful situation, and also, when you see like a woman in distress,
Sure.
It's one thing when dudes are going at it. You know what I mean? We see that,
Right.
but so that's what gravitates. That's what so. And we're going to get into all that, but
Sure.
yeah. So
Dude,
how
awesome,
you feel?
man.
How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's it's a nice day right now. So I'm looking out the window, be like, when this is over, I'm happy to be here. This is over. I'm actually going to go back to that park, that very park where it happened. Me and my girl are going to walk down because we do that weekly walk, and so about an hour or two from now, I'm going to be chilling at that same park where it happened.
That was Madison Park.
Yeah, Madison Square Park. It's right in front of that Flatiron building here in
Yes, of course. And for those that may not know, that is the location of the original Madison Square Garden.
Mm.
So that's it. So everybody's chiming in, and listen, a lot of people from around the world, are watching, and but let's get a little bit into your background. Let's set the table a little bit, before we get into the incident. Let's talk a little bit about your history and how you came up.
Okay.
Tell us where you grew? Where did you grow up and how you came up?
So I was born in Taiwan. I was only there for a year, and then family moved over to Hong Kong, and then I was in Hong Kong for about 13, 14 years. And it was there that I started getting into, punk and hardcore. There was a very small scene. I don't even want to say there were actually hardcore shows. It was kind of like mixed bills. Punk bands just played where they could. So if there was like some rock bands playing or whatever, they just trying to get on, let me open for you guys, or let me do this. So the scene was kind of like that there, or we'd play in like little dingy, illegal apartments.
And this was Hong Kong?
Yeah, this was in Hong Kong. So this was in the late 90s in Hong Kong. I was young. I was like 12 years old.
Wow.
And
12 years old going to punk shows?
No, it was but it was around. You have a guest coming up next month. His name is Riz, who's he plays in a band called Daggers, but he played in a longtime hardcore band called NYHC.
Right.
And that's where I met him. You know, he's like an OG Hong Kong hardcore dude. He's one of the first that kind of brought hardcore to Hong Kong. And yeah, he's actually going to be on your show next month.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That like how this worldwide community connects. You know, it's like,
Right.
you know, you met Riz when you were 13. He's coming on the show, and I know you and him are friends. I know he's very proud of you, man.
Oh, that's really cool. That's sweet. Yeah, I was like 12, 13 years old. I was at his band's like very first or second show. I bought a shirt from him at the merch table. You know, he was in his 20s at that point, and I'm like this 12-year-old kid, like, hey, good show, man. Can I get a t-shirt? You know, spend my allowance on it. And now decades later, we're on the same show here.
Yeah. I mean, so you meet him at 13 years old, and being in Hong Kong at that age, like, who were your hardcore influences? Like what bands resonated for you as almost like, you're almost like a kid. 13 is the first year as a teenager. But what hardcore bands resonated for you early on?
Earlier on, it was just whatever I got my hands on. So there was a record store there called God's Child, and it was actually just an apartment. This guy turned this studio
That's a cool name for a record store.
He turned a studio apartment, and you know, everyone would be smoking cigarettes in there. And he's the only guy. Sure, like Tower Records had like punk records, like No Effects or bands on Epitaph. You know what I mean? They had punk records around, but this dude had 100 Demons. This dude had Sick of It All. This dude, you know, he was the guy that kind of like sold those type of music. And at the time, dude, you just go in and snag whatever looked hard, you know, snagged whatever looked like had a cool cover on it, whatever looked.
Yeah. It's amazing how when we were at that age, when you're young, it's like, if the cover looks cool, you're buying it.
Yeah, dude.
It's like it's and that's something that's so lost now in this sort of digital age. And we talk about this, how back then you'd go look at the cover and like, you know, what is it? And like, you know, nowadays everything's digital. That's sort of a part of that's sort of lost for now. It's too bad.
You know, and I'm guilty of it too, because when I listen to certain hardcore bands that come out, I'm on Spotify and like, dude, I don't even know what the album cover looks like at all.
Hey, I want to shout someone out that just chimed in. DJ Huggy Black from up in Harlem, one of my boys from the Urban Street Bike Warrior days, made history with this guy back in the day. He must be just passing through. He saw it and popped on. Yo, bro, I miss you. You know, I love the stuff that we did together, Huggy. And I hope you and your family are doing well, man. I'm sorry. I had to, that's family. I had to shout him out, man.
Cool.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was, you know, that was it. I was saying I was guilty of it too, as far as not checking out album art anymore, because I'm just on Spotify. So when it pops up in my earbuds, I'm listening. You know, I haven't bought a record that wasn't a, you know, collectible or whatever in a long time. I haven't bought a new band's record in a long time. You know, physical copy.
It's a different kind of world now. You know.
Sure.
So at what point do you leave? Do you leave Hong Kong and come to the States? And what's the story with that?
At let's see, 2001, I moved to Shanghai, China.
Wow.
Now my whole family moved there. they were there for years, but I was only there for about 6 months. And by then I was getting into like, you know, I was kicked out of school at that point a few times. I was being homeschooled, and homeschool teachers would quit. You know, I wasn't.
You were a bit of a trouble. You were a bit of a troubled teenager.
Yeah, man. I just, you know, like many of us, you know, I was just an angry kid. I didn't, you know, I just had a temper problem. I didn't like a lot of stuff that was going on, and you know, I just want to go out and get fucked up with my friends, stuff like that, you know. So, but when I turned 15, so early 2002, I got sent. That's how I came to the States. I got put into a juvie, essentially a juvenile rehab center in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Wow, Salt Lake City, huh?
Yeah, Salt Lake City. So my whole family was still in China. They probably stayed there for an additional, I don't know, 3-4 years or something, 5 years. And then I was just
a quick question from Thomas Starkey. Do you speak Cantonese or Mandarin?
Yeah, I speak both. My mom's
Wow.
from Taiwan, so like originally, so she speaks Mandarin, and then because I grew up in Hong Kong, I speak Cantonese.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you get a chance to speak it frequently now that you're living in New York? I would think not, right?
I just did laundry right downstairs. I live above the laundromat, man. There's a Chinese family down there. We're hella tight. I speak to them like
That's
once
cool,
a week.
man. In New York is great, man.
Yeah, yeah. But other than that, not too much. Other than restaurants and stuff like that, or random random old ladies on the street. When I see them struggling, like trying to find out directions or trying to find out how much something costs or where a certain street is, I speak Chinese then. That actually happens way more than you would think.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm sorry. So Salt Lake City, you get sent to juvie. Now, in America, that must have been sort of scary.
Yeah, it was. It was it was a bit of a culture shock. I was already into American culture then. My dad's a white dude. Obviously, I was into punk, a few years earlier than that. So I was already into like skateboarding culture, punk culture. So I was, I knew what was going on in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
But the culture shock I received was mainly, loss of freedom.
Yeah, well, juvie will do that to you.
Yeah, it'll do that to you. And then I was in there for a year and a half, and then I was because my family was still in China when I got out. I was still under 18, and then I was just in foster home for about another year, maybe a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And the foster home I was in, this was in 2003, 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually just spoke with my foster parent like 4 days ago. They saw it on their local news network. They saw me on I don't know, Fox News or NBC or something. And the dude, called me up. He goes, "You're on the news right now. What'd you do?" He's trying to take credit for the training. He's like, "Yo, man, I used to tackle you like that all the time, man. That's where you learned it."
Yeah.
But they're good people. They're good. But that's where I was. I got out of juvie, and then I was in a foster home for a bit. And then when I was 18, I was kind of out and about on my own in big bad America.
What happens at 18? Did they just open the door and say, "Hey, you're 18. Go have good luck"?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I had a good relationship with them, so I could have stayed if I wanted to. But I wanted to do other things. I wanted to. The only I was drug tested regularly every 2 weeks when I was there. I didn't have very many friends because I didn't want to get in trouble when I was there. I was afraid if I made friends, I'd just do drugs with them. I did meet some straight edge kids in Salt Lake, but late 90s, early 2000s, Salt Lake City straight edge. I don't know. Hey, there's that little guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's quite notorious how violent the Salt Lake City straight edge scene was back then.
I don't really know anything about that.
Dude, it was
give us a little quick summary.
It's there's documentaries on, I mean, not National Geographic, but like TV, those documentaries where they do gangland stuff. They talk about the Salt Lake City straight edge gang. It was really violent. Like when Vanilla Ice went and toured there, they went on stage and beat the shit out of Vanilla Ice. It was all the straight edge kids. They were.
Why the straight edge kids bothering Vanilla Ice?
I think it was because Salt Lake, when you're from, obviously every, city kids have a reputation of being hard, right? But when you're from a soft place, you have so much more to prove.
This is true.
So when they're around Mormons who already don't drink or smoke because their faith, doesn't allow them to, and then they're straight edge, they need something to say, I'm different from the religious people that don't drink and smoke. I am a hardcore dude that doesn't drink and smoke. So they have to, there's a lot to prove. So they just do it by smashing everybody. All that hardline stuff, someone smoking a cigarette, boom, done. That was Salt Lake City.
Well, Tom Triano says, the skinhead New York City scene in the mid 80s, was a crazy time here too. I mean, I think it was more certainly, mid 80s, this, I think you know, there was a lot of violence in
Right.
hardcore
Sure.
in a lot of different cities at a lot of different times. But
Yeah. But you expect it from New York. You expect it in LA. You know,
Thanks.
when you hear of Salt Lake
Yeah.
City, you're like, what are you guys doing? I thought, you
Yeah.
know, but
Right.
it's true. There's certain suburbs, certain states where, you know, I think it's just they have a lot to prove because they just grew up listening to, you know, New York hardcore bands and they want to be hard, you know.
Here's a shot of you, you know, with a big X on your hand, and it's a great shot. Do you remember where this was and what's happening here?
I do. That was a show in, I believe, somewhere in Washington. That person over me is actually Spencer from the band Trash Talk. They're a huge band. They have been a huge band for over a decade now. But that's him, Spencer from Trash Talk. This was probably right around the time he started playing for him. And the singer, the dude in front of me, his name's Mark, and he sang for a Seattle hardcore band called Vanguard. And I loved that band. That band was sick. I toured with him a bunch. I scabbed for him, filling in, playing on guitar. I roadied for him. They great guys, and wow, hilarious photo.
so you start hanging out and you start roading and you pick up guitar, and how did you start playing music, and who did you start playing with?
Yeah, well, I picked up the guitar, you know, when I was 12. My dad bought me a guitar when I was still in Hong Kong, and you know, I was just had a guitar, had a small amp, and I just sit in my room, you know, trying to learn punk songs, you know, trying to learn Epitaph Band punk songs, trying to learn, you know, stuff like that, trying to figure it out. There was no lessons. I didn't even know tabs existed at that point. You know, the internet was still fairly new. I didn't know I could Google how to play, you know, Built to Last by Sick of It All, whatever. I didn't know I could Google that stuff. So, but that's where I started playing the guitar. I started when I was in Hong Kong, and then when I was in high school, you know, played some Battle of the Band stuff, you know, and then when I was in Salt Lake, eventually when I was 18, I moved up to Seattle. So I had never been there before, but I knew I had a friend of mine that was from there that was like, "Hey, what are you doing this winter?" You know, it's like Christmas. He's like, "What are you doing for next year?" You know, like I have no clue. And he's like, I'm going to move back to Seattle, and if you want to come, come.
Is this your dad chiming in? You're welcome for the guitar, Brian.
Oh yeah, maybe. Where is he?
Mark Kemsley.
Yeah, Mark Kemsley does sound like my father. Yes. So
Wow.
what's up, pops?
Yeah, they're all chiming. They're all chiming in.
I see.
On the Worldwide Hardcore Show.
Yeah, right.
So go on. Music and guitar, and there you go.
Yeah, I eventually moved up to Seattle. You know, when I left the foster home when I was 18 years old, I moved up to Seattle. A friend invited me, and then he actually invited me to move into his brother's house because they had a closet open for a room.
How punk rock is that?
Dude, it had a mattress, and that was it. There was actually nowhere to put at that point I only had a duffel bag. That's all I had in life, and my guitar in my duffel bag. And I had no room in my duffel bag too. I had to put the duffel bag on the bed because the room was so small. It was a closet. And but who ended up living there was a local promoter, Matt Weltner, aka Mosher Matt. He promoted all the shows in Seattle. So if you were in a hardcore band in the late 90s, you know, 2000s, and you came through, he was the one that put it on for you. And the guitar player of Champion also lived there, Posy Chris.
I love back then. It's like Mohawk Joe, Posy Chris, you know, like
Mosher Matt,
really no edge, you know,
yeah, exactly.
Convict Chris, Thug
right?
Joe. It's like I love it.
Yeah, that's how it was.
Great stuff.
So Posy Chris played in Champion, which was really cool for me because Champion was my favorite hardcore band.
That's awesome.
They're a straight edge band. Dude, I loved Champion. I was really, you know, and then I met him, and from there, you know, I was going to shows there, and because I lived with Posy Chris and Mosher Matt, I got pretty involved with the scene and that's where I started filling in for bands or, you know, selling merch on tour, stuff like that.
Everybody knows this guy. All the girls seem to know him. Posy Chris, May knows him. Posy Chris was a good dude.
That's
Michelle.
him, man.
Yeah,
straight up. Yeah,
Right
he's
on.
Posy Chris. He's a solid dude. He's out there somewhere. still
Yeah.
in
Well, I
Seattle right
think
now.
May says he's in Change now. I guess there's a band called Change he's in.
Right.
Cool.
Um, so that's kind of how I got involved. So other than playing, in high school bands and battle of the band stuff, where I started touring and actually writing records was in Seattle. A couple friends of mine, a couple friends and I started a band called Living in Ruins, which is a Seattle straight edge band.
Seattle
And,
Straight Edge.
Yeah, Seattle straight edge
Straight
band.
Edge, united and strong. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we were stoked. Yeah, we
Yeah.
we wrote a demo and we
Uh-huh.
toured on that demo. We toured down the West Coast. I think we did some Canada dates. I know we did like Western Canada, maybe went out as far as Edmonton, maybe. And then from then, the drummer and I at the time really wanted to do this full time. We wanted to just be on the road, like drop out of life, leave everything, and just be homeless and live in a van and play gigs all year round. But our respectable singer and bass player were decent human beings in society, and they couldn't do that. So
Don't you hate when that happens?
they couldn't scum it with us.
Yeah,
So
I've been there many times. I hate when that happens.
yeah, you're like, oh, you're a teacher, you're an educator, you can't
talking
just
about?
be
You're gonna-
homeless with
you're
me and eat at gas stations.
I mean, don't you want to live in the van with a bunch of like mutant cyborgs and argue all day long and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So that's how that happened. So Living in Ruins, the drummer and I was writing songs for a Living in Ruins full-length record, and we had the talk of how we want to just tour full time. So we started this band called Gravemaker instead, and we recruited like 2 other members that were also down with that life. There they are. And we recruited 2 other members that were down to do this, and we did. We put out a demo, toured off that demo. We booked our own shows down. Like we did a couple full US tours, Canadian tours. We even went down to Central America, toured through Mexico, just off a demo. Like we just kind of hit it hard. And that's why it caught Think Fast Records' attention. By the way, for a lot of new bands out there, there's always like this theory of, hey, I have this music. We already wrote this record, or we just need some funding to record this record. All I need is the help from a label, and then we can go out and tour and do all that stuff after. But in reality, you haven't put in any work besides for writing that record. So what labels wanted to see, I'm not sure now, was the fact that a band that just wrote a demo and put in the work touring were capable of booking their own shows throughout the States and different parts of North America. They appreciated that, so that's why they reached out and wanted to work with us.
So, in other words, you sort of took the attitude of, let's no one's going to give us anything. Let's go out and get some work done, and let's show them our work ethic, and someone picked up on it.
100%. And you know what? If they didn't, we would have just put out the full length ourselves. Not that we had money, but we would take 2 weeks off here and there and work construction jobs. We did that in Canada. We just let's take 3 weeks off, make some money. We just took up like landscaping gigs in Canada, and then boom, pocketed some money so we can pay for a transmission or whatever and keep going. So that's what we would.
Our boy Tim Gamage says, I got a promotional use copy of Gravemaker, wicked album, hard as fuck.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
So that's how Gravemaker happened. We got picked up by Think Fast Records, and they helped us record that first full length, which was called Bury Me at Sea. And that title was in reference to us we just want to leave home. We just want to be out there, man. Bury me at sea.
That's awesome.
And so that's how that came to be. So eventually, Gravemaker did tours with Outbreak, and we did a tour with Comeback Kid, Misery Signals, Bane, and an Outbreak. It was a big package tour through Canada.
Nice.
And soon after that tour, we I don't want to get too much into it, but we got in a van accident. Our van went over the side of a highway, and we rolled down the hill.
Oof.
And after that, the relationship between me and the guys fell apart. We didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things after that. And I eventually quit the band because of it. So when I did that, because we had toured with Outbreak, and also the singer of Outbreak owns Think Fast Records. So
right.
he was
What's
kind of the dude that,
what's the singer's name?
Ryan O'Connor.
So Ryan O'Connor owned Think Fast Records.
Yeah, co-owns him and Larry.
And he put out the Gravemaker
full
release.
length. Yeah.
And then, okay.
Yeah, and then after we toured together, we got to know each other, and I quit Gravemaker, and it was probably, soon, within a few weeks of quitting Gravemaker, he gave me a call. He's like, "Hey, dude, listen, I know I heard you quit. I don't know how the timing works, but Outbreak is thinking about writing a new record. We would like for you to join us and write this record, and I know you're still based out of the West Coast, but we're in the East Coast. How do you feel about this?" So I was like, "Dude, let's do it. I got nothing here tying me down. I don't want to live in Maine. I don't want to live in Massachusetts, but I'll live in New York City. Is that okay?" So he's like, "Yeah, dude, that's fine." So I, probably 2 days later, I moved to New York City with that same duffel bag and guitar. And I once again moved into a closet. It was a 6.5 foot by 5 foot room. It was actually.
Where was that? Brooklyn?
No, it was in Hell's Kitchen.
All right.
It was right next to Port Authority.
Not too far from where I live now.
Yeah. Oh, no way. Yeah. It was right outside of Port Authority. It was a rundown building. It was like transient place, and in that room, by the way, I shared it with someone. That 6.5 foot by 5 foot room. It was a bunk bed in there. I shared that room with someone, and that's where I lived when I first moved to New York. And we had band practice in Worcester, Massachusetts. So I know
a little bit about Worcester, man. Worcester's another like Brockton, Mass. Worcester's hard,
dude. Worcester's funny.
Worcester is hard, yo.
Yeah, it's funny because I would take the Greyhound bus there, right, for practice, and there would be people passing through, a lot of people transferring at Hartford, Connecticut or something. But anyways, I'm in line getting on the Greyhound bus, and the guy collecting tickets would be like, "Where's your final destination? Where's your final destination?" And people that are passing through Worcester would say Worcester or Worcester, Worcester, But then you would see the gnarliest dude wearing like the baggiest sweatpants, using a garbage bag as a luggage, as a suitcase. The driver would be like, where are you going? What's your final destination? And that dude would be like, Worcester, going to Worcester. I'd be like, oh, this gnarly dude. Of course he's going to Worcester.
Hey, let me see. Hey, Sid, are you out there? Hold on. Let's bring Sid on a second. What's up, bro?
What's up, guys?
You got to go to work?
Getting ready, but keep going here. Keep going. It's good. It's getting good here.
Do you want to do a record of the day, or you want to save it for tomorrow?
Wait, it's your call, boss. It's how you want to do it.
Let's do this real quick. Because this touches. Let's do this real quick, okay? How about right. Sid the Kid record of the day? Let's talk about this real quick, Sid. Go ahead.
Boom. Well, guys, this is everything's so impromptu on the show. How Drew brought Brian on, I felt honestly, I really just wanted to see what can I do for this show, especially with Brian's background, especially with a lot of West Coast straight edge. To be quite honest, even from back in the day, there wasn't really a lot of straight edge bands on the West Coast, but this was one of them. And this is, the first Uniform Choice record came out in '86, I believe, in Wishing Well Records. Even though the band was around for a good 4 years prior, it took them that long to put this release out. And to be quite honest, this was one of those records, even for me, actually did fly under the radar, to be quite honest with you. But it's a very
it flew under the radar for you in the straight edge community, man. This is a big record, man.
Oh yeah. But I'm saying, even for for a lot of East Coast kids, you got Minor Threat, you got SSD.
Yeah.
But West Coast, and no disrespect to anybody out there, but you don't really hear about West Coast straight edge bands, especially back in the day, except for this band right here.
Yeah.
You know, so
Joe Ackerman, my man down in Tallahassee, heard of him. That's for sure. Yeah, this is a well-loved record, and I always think of this, you know, I always think of this record as like part of that, like, you know, association of like great straight edge bands, you know, Youth of Today, Minor Threat, you know, Uniform Choice, SSD Control, that really espouse the straight edge lifestyle, you know.
That album cover is part as fuck. That's the one I would have picked up at God's Child, right there.
Yeah, right.
That very album cover. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, like you said, Brian. Like, you know, you're a teenager, a straight edge kid. You pick up something like this, you're like, yo, I'm all in.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the funny thing is too that even though the band was around at that time, I mean, when the band was around that time, they had 2 other releases after this. So they kind of wanted to go more like of an emo route. But really, this record, it just solidifies this band, really.
Well, I think I believe didn't the singer go on to sing in Mindfunk, if I remember correctly?
I believe so, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, anybody in the chat room chime in. Did they go on to form Mindfunk? I think Pat Dunbar was the singer for Mindfunk, right? So yeah. Here you go. Uniform Choice is the Minor Threat of the West Coast.
I mean, Brian pretty much he nailed it. I mean, that's how I felt when I heard about this band, even from back in the day too.
Cool. All right, Sid, we're gonna keep it moving. We'll see you tomorrow with Jay Peter from Mind Force. And oh yes, he was. Okay, yeah, he was the singer in Mind Force. There you go. I'll talk to you soon, Sid. Yeah, have a good day at work.
All righty, guys. Cheers.
Good to see you, man.
All right, that was like a little diversion. You know, you never know here. You know, we go all over the place. So I wanted to get him in before you know, he had to go to work. So I have here's another Outbreak photo. And so you're in Outbreak and you guys are touring and you're doing your thing. At some point you got into martial arts. Tell us about how that came about.
It was probably on this tour where this photo was taken, actually. No, actually, next tour. This was the tour I wore nothing but a Madball shirt the whole time. The next tour,
one of those guys.
Yeah. The next tour, I wore nothing but a agnostic front shirt the whole tour. Yep. So we were touring through. It's probably like a 4 or 5 week long tour, and this was actually the second to last date of that specific tour. We were going through.
This guy Chad Topper. He's a Topper.
Yeah. Chad Topper. Oh, he's from Worcester. I know. Oh, Chad used to be our tour manager.
Oh, that's why he keeps chiming in. Okay, I thought maybe. Okay.
Yeah, Chad. Wow, good to see you, Chad. Yeah,
hey, Chad. Thanks for coming by, Chad.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. So the tour where I wore nothing but an agnostic front shirt.
Oh, another one of those guys wears the same shit the whole tour.
Oh, that's me, man. Second to last show on this 5-week US tour was in St. Louis. In St. Louis, after the show, outside the club, I got jumped by about 5 or 6 guys.
Oh. So
in regards to that incident, our singer, Ryan, he's the one that kind of saved me. So I had my back against this wall, and there was 5 or 6 of them in front of me. I'm just trying to like move me. I just remember thinking like, don't cover up, don't lie still on the ground, and just, don't cover up, keep moving. And it was funny because I feel like if there was just one of those dudes or just 2 of those dudes trying to fight me, they actually would have done better. But they were just these 5 or 6 huge meathead, big fat dudes. And the fact that there was 5 or 6 of them actually got in their own way. So they were kind of struggling, landing shots. But Ryan, our singer, came in and kind of peeled them off me. And by doing so, he took a couple shots himself.
Ooh.
But when he did that, those guys turned away and faced him. And that allowed me those few seconds to just to bail. And
Fight or flee.
Yeah, exactly. So I just
And it was time to flee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So after that incident, Ryan really saved me there. And after that incident, it was horrible because that agnostic front shirt, boom, ripped all the way down, ripped in half, blood everywhere. So that was the real tragedy of that of that specific beating.
Right.
And it was after that, I was like, after that tour, ended, went home, and I was like, yo, I should learn how to fight for real. And I looked around to different gyms, and I got into Jukundo, which is Bruce Lee's, martial art, which is kind of the philosophy behind it is geared towards street fighting, if you will. So I got into Jukundo, and then I got into jiu-jitsu as well. So it was probably within a couple months after that incident, I just started training.
Yeah.
That's the man.
Yeah, man.
And,
that's the man. And there's the big Hong Kong connection there too with Bruce Lee, right? I mean, Bruce Lee, I mean, for those that may not, I think Bruce Lee to me, like growing up was like Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? It's like there's Superman, Batman, Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee. I think the it's incredible the influence of Bruce Lee still resonates all these years later. Incredible.
Absolutely, man. And he he kind of revolutionized a few things in his day, and it's still being heard today.
Yeah.
So Jukundo is what I got into, but eventually what I transitioned into was Muay Thai. Once I started sparring against Muay Thai guys, man, they would just fuck me up. Right. And I was like, yo, what is this? What is this you guys are doing? And from there, I was like, yo, I'm going to start training Muay Thai. And then I, went to Thailand and, which is where Muay Thai comes from.
Right.
And the sport's great. It's brutal. It's you use your fists, you use your elbows, you use your knees, you use your legs, and you can throw low kicks, high kicks, anything. So I really, fell in love with that sport, the culture behind it. I really dig it. And that's kind of where it all started.
And you started fighting professionally, right? You really.
Yeah, well, what I did was I first did the amateur.
What do you work out? 23 hours a day to have a friggin'?
No, that was actually very skinny because I walk around at 175 pounds. But that photo was taken the day I won the WKA national title.
Nice.
And I weighed in at 158 pounds for that fight.
Wow.
So like looking at me now, sitting in front of you, I'm 175.
Wow.
And even at 175, I'm fairly skinny. So that photo, one day before that photo or 2 days before that photo, I was 158 pounds.
Woo!
And in that photo, I was probably 6'2". Yeah, man, that was malnourished,
that's
dehydrated.
Like Mark Breland shit. Wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
That's my face is sunken. Looks like I need to go back to rehab.
And this is the USA Nationals.
WKA is the World Kickboxing Organization, and I won their title in the amateur circuit when I was when I was competing, and then maybe a year or two later, I also won the USMTO, which is the US Muay Thai Open title as well, in my weight class. And I had fights upstate. I've had fights in Arizona. I've had fights in Des Moines, Iowa, and there you go. That was one of the fights in New York City.
Where was this in New York City? Where do they?
This promotion is called Friday Night Fights. They're actually the oldest, if you will, Muay Thai promotion in the East Coast.
Live from Lucky Strike. What, Lucky Strike Bowling Alley?
Yeah, so they do promotions downtown. They do it downtown at Wall Street. They rent out this huge thing. But they also did it at Lucky Strikes a couple times, which is like essentially a club. It's like a bowling alley, but it's a club.
Yeah. There's one on 42nd Street.
That's the one. That's the one I did it in. It was 42nd.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so it's essentially a club, so they close down the bowling alley and put a ring in there because they already had all the lights and all that stuff set up in that because
Wow.
it's, like I said, it's a club. So that fight was there.
That's fantastic. Hey, here's a friend of ours chiming in, Mr. Joe James, that was in Agnostic Front. Says, "Yo, Brian, long time no see. Good to see you in the news for standing up and doing the right thing. Much respect."
Wow, thanks, Joe. It's good to hear from you, man. Joe and I toured together in, Agnostic Front, Outbreak. We've done a couple tours together, and dude, Joe, it's good to hear from you. Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah, and you like you. I'm sorry, we sort of veered off, but I want to get back. I mean, Outbreak went out and did some really serious touring with Agnostic Front and here, Sick of It All and Cro-Mags, right? I mean, you guys went out and did some work.
Yeah, we toured pretty heavily, man. That was the idea. We kind of wanted to, take advantage of whatever record was coming out, touring cycle. We just wanted to be out there all the time. And part of the reason, technically we never broke up. We just stopped playing shows after a specific Sick of It All tour because out of everybody in the band, Sick of It All was the very last band that, one of our childhood heroes type bands.
Mm-hmm.
And we've toured with a bunch of bands already. And that was the only one we haven't done tours with. So when we got offered that tour, we took it. And after that tour, we were like, well, nowhere to go from here. We toured with everybody we wanted to. So, we kind of just stopped touring after that.
Well, it sounds like you guys are due for a reunion when this whole thing picks back up.
We get hit up about that sometimes. Sound and Fury Festival or This Is Hardcore.
That's a good one, man.
Yeah, that's a great one. This Is Hardcore in Philly, obviously. So once in a while we get hit up, and our agent reaches out and asks us if we want to do it, and we joke around about it. And I don't know, we just never never dove in again.
Well, maybe one of these days the time will be right. That's what happens here. The wave goes in and the wave goes out, and
right.
And sometimes the stars line up. Hey, hang with me for a second. Let me shout out some sponsors, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the incident.
There we go.
Yo, what's happening? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, Your Core Hardcore fan page. The Organic Grill is a vegan restaurant located in the East Village of New York City at 123 First Avenue. Featured in New York Magazine, New York Times, and Veg News. Their dishes have won numerous awards, including Best Veggie Burger. They make their own cheeses, sausages, and burger patties, and every dish on the menu could be made gluten-free for all you gluten-free motherfuckers. This year, they're celebrating their 20th anniversary, and they're all about having a great time while enjoying amazing, clean food. After 3 months of being closed, they're now open for deliveries. Get in touch with them and order some great food at www.theorganicgrill.com. That said, for those of you that may not know, you may not know, there is a Patreon page. If you want to support this show, if you want to come in from the cold and stop lurking, don't be a lurker, don't be a shirker. Join Patreon, don't be a Hatreon. So what's happening outside? Lots of cops. Yeah, I know. I live in Manhattan. There's always some. Listen, don't worry. We're going to get him back on. We're going to talk about it. But listen, New York, it's the fall of the Roman Empire here. What can I tell you? Friggin' cops, it's lunacy right now in New York City. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, excuse me. I was hustling the Patreon. Want to shout out a couple of our new patrons on Patreon. Christopher Hoffman, Riz, our boy Riz, in China. John Siciliano, Scott Adler, Thomas Rudy, Victor Mogliensky, Robert Meyerson, John Beneas, representing Long Island, and Christopher Moores. Please support the show on Patreon. Also, if you can't wrap your head around Patreon, there is a PayPal. There it is. This show. It's like Channel 13. It's like public television. You know, this show is member driven and member supported. That's what enables this show to happen, and need your support to make it happen. So please, if you enjoy the show, if you're out there and you're lurking, I'm blown away sometimes by some of the people that come out of the shadows and be like, yo, I watch the show all the time, you know, and that kind of stuff. Also, I want to say, if you're watching the show in rerun, there's a button right about there. Please subscribe to the Stone Films NYC YouTube page so you get alerts when a new show is announced. Oh, you know what I got to shout out to? Hold on. Hold your horses. Hold your horses, as my grandpa used to say. Do I still have? Yes. Dr. No, www.drnoBadbrains.com. They're selling a mask. Dr. No from the Bad Brains is not doing well. As you know, he had a double stroke a couple years ago, and he has cancer, and he is fighting it. And they need your support. Get a Dr. No mask at www.drnobadbrains.com. I will be wearing my Dr. No mask if I ever go out again. And I don't think I ever will. And I don't care. I don't care if I stay in this apartment for the rest of my life and I never leave. Really don't care anymore. Welcome new Patreons, community within the community. Please don't be shy. Support the show. It's important. Shit doesn't magically happen. So support the show. You know what I'm saying? What else? The merch. Yo, there's a merch link underneath. We just released the Do Good Things, the Good Things Come to You line of stuff. There's all the New York Hardcore stuff. The New York Hardcore logo mug designed by Stephen Huey. The leggings, the girls' leggings, the dog hoodie, all that good stuff. So don't be shy. Please support the show. I'll turn into a grumpy old troll if I stay here. Oh, you ordered the mask on Wednesday? Good man. Thank you. Right? I'm staying in my apartment. I'm never leaving, and I don't care. I don't even like girls anymore. I don't care. I'm just staying here and just watching bad reruns of Star Trek. God, that's all I'm ever gonna do, and just talk to you people on the internet. What do I care? It's a kooky world. That said, I think I covered everything. We'll do a little bit more later. You know what this is. Let me clear the deck here. What the heck? Let's clear the deck. I love you too, May. Yeah, man. There you go. Shit. That's the next shirt. The next shirt's going to be shit doesn't magically happen. All right. There it is. There is the Patreon. Where is it? There it is. So that said, I hope everybody's okay. What is that? Who can it be now? Where's that coming from? Who can it be knocking at my door? Could it be the food or the girl I ordered? Since I'm never going out again, everything must be sent to me. Who can it be now? Anyway, enough being kooky. Enough being kooky on the Saturday. Let's get down to some serious business here. Let's bring our guest back on. Let me clear the deck here. The Patreon page, the PayPal page, Patreon, PayPal, Hunchback. You know, where is the? Okay, there's the PayPal. Sorry, Hunchback, PayPal. You know, Drew at work. Hey, Laura Zeitlin, hope you're well. You know, who can it be? All right, enough kookiness. Let's get down to some serious business. Let me clear the deck here. Let's bring Brian Kemsley back on board here. Brother, what's happening?
Brian Kemsley's back.
Sorry, Mag. He's getting a little kooky there. You know, I don't go out anymore, so I'm getting cabin fever.
This is the only type of socializing you get.
This is it, and it's kind of great. It's kind of great. I talk to people around the world,
Yeah, there
and
you go.
I just loathe humans now. I just never want to be around them. I'm kidding, of course. Anyway, let's talk about what happened down in Madison Square Park. And
Sure, yeah.
let me just preface it with, I live in New York. I've lived in New York pretty much my whole life. New York is in a crisis situation right now. And a lot of the world is, but New York is really cracking. And part of the reason that New York is cracking is because of the mentally ill population here in New York, and the situation where they just don't have the proper facilities available, and a lot of them are out in the street, and it's a very, very tough situation. And I think that sort of leads into what you walked into. Can you tell us what happened that day?
Sure. Bullet point style stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at a Madison Square Park with my girlfriend and a friend. I hear a woman screaming. I hear some dudes yelling. So I just go. It sounded serious. In New York, we hear a lot of people yelling and screaming all the time, and we just tune it out. We see people pass out on the side of the sidewalk all the time. We just kind of walk over them. But this one sounded different. This one sounded like pretty intense. Something was going down. So, I left them at the bench and I went and checked it out. And this dude was playing tug of war with this lady's stroller. This mom had a baby with her, and this dude wouldn't let go. And he's saying, this is my baby. This is my baby. And guys are like, let go. You got to let go of this thing, man. Get the fuck out of here. And he's like,
and that's scary. And that's scary for a mom.
Of course,
Yeah.
You're scary for anybody. This guy's not letting go and literally playing tug of war with a baby stroller.
Wow.
And there was a couple guys that was trying to help, so I kind of hung back because I didn't want to make the scene any bigger. I didn't want to jump in on it and didn't want to escalate the thing because they were getting tense. There were some fighting words thrown around, like "let go," you motherfucker. And he's like, "How why do you believe her? How do you know it's her baby? This could be my baby, you motherfucker."
Yeah. Apparently, that's what he was saying. Like, how do you know this is her baby? This could be my baby, right?
Yeah. And at the time, we didn't even think the guy was mentally, stressed or deranged or anything. We just thought, this guy's trying to talk his way out of fucking stealing this baby. This is insane, which he could have been doing. I don't, at that time I didn't know. So the guys eventually peeled his hand off the stroller, and the mom and the family just kind of made a break for it. And but after that, it's like people are like, "What do we do?" Now we're just holding onto this guy's hands. This guy's still yelling at us, like he's literally making animal growling noises. He's like going like, And I was like, "Dude, no one's gonna be able to contain him. People are gonna start punching." I'm like 3 seconds away from seeing, blows.
Yeah, we've seen that in New York. When it reaches critical mass, and then ultra violence breaks out, and then it just goes over the top.
Exactly. It's not like his attempt failed, and then he thought to himself, "Well, I'll try again later." No, it wasn't over. So once I got the impression that there were going to be punches thrown, seconds away, I came up behind him, I put him in a rear naked choke. And then I used that to bring him down to the ground. But as soon as we got to the ground, I let go to that choke and transitioned into a seatbelt grip. So one arm over his shoulder, one arm underneath his armpit, boom, gable grip. And you can also pin his own arm against his own chest. So he's kind of like this with my arm pinning him. So in that position, I wrap my legs around him. You're able to really control a person. You're able to control their limbs. You're able to control their movement. They can't really hurt you from there. And initially I thought I was just going to be down there for a minute or two before cops or someone arrived. Right. Sure. And then,
let me just interject. Also, like you said, being in that position on the concrete, is fairly, after a couple minutes, can be like your arm is underneath. It could be really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it got really uncomfortable actually. So initially I was sitting with him, and then I rolled him onto our left side. You know, that kind of takes more control away from him as well. So we're both lying on our left side, the left side of our body, and his whole body weight is essentially pinning my left leg down because my legs are wrapped around him as well. And we were down there for a long time. I eventually rolled over onto my right side. There's footage on news networks of that as well. And I did that because my left leg was going numb. And it was only, a matter of minutes. It's already been 9 minutes or something at that point. He's right on my thigh.
He was a pretty big dude, right?
Yeah, he probably weighed.
He looked like 180, 190.
Yeah, probably 185 or something.
Yep.
And he had a puffy coat on. So I was holding on to him, and eventually I had to transition onto my right side because if my left leg went out, if I didn't have any movement around my left leg, I couldn't, secure that hold anymore. So I'm like, dude, I need to transition. I moved over to my right side. And it got scary because in the beginning, when I was holding him down, he was pretending he didn't just try to take a baby. Bystanders were walking by saying, hey, what happened? Guys would be like, I just saw him trying to take a stroller away from this lady. And he would say, no, I didn't. I didn't do that. No, I didn't. I was just trying to see if there was a kid. That's all. And then people were like, dude, you were trying to rip it away. He goes, you liar. No, I wasn't. You're a fucking liar. So in the beginning, when we were on the ground, that was the conversation. It was him pretending like he didn't just get busted doing what he got busted doing. But then he would like kind of boom, click and start saying stuff like, I was in the Oval Office with Obama. My name is on the plaque in the White House.
Another one? Jesus.
Yeah. Like he
another one.
Yeah. So it was like, oh shoot, then our wheels are turning. We're like, yo, I think this guy might be he might
be sick.
Yeah, he might be sick. He might be off his meds, maybe both. So it was at that point that I was like, oh man, because there was also bystanders walking by asking what happened, and the reaction to this guy tried to snatch a baby. The reaction was, oh, you pedophile motherfucker! I'm gonna make you famous online. They get out their phone, start filming. They kick his legs a little bit. They're like, you motherfucker, we got you now. Like certain individuals in the crowd were maybe rightfully so angry, but at that point, I had already witnessed him say the Obama stuff, the Oval Office stuff. Like at that point, I'm like, dude, I don't think this is what people are thinking it is. I think this guy's he needs help.
Yeah, and also you never want the mob mentality to take over.
Dude, absolutely.
We never want with the pitch. We never want the villagers with the pitchforks.
Absolutely. And this wasn't, and this wasn't good. You're absolutely right. And this wasn't going to be a scene where if I let go of my grip, that dudes would start pounding on him and this guy would just curl up in a ball. No, this guy would have fought back too. This guy, he was aggressive the whole time on the ground.
Yeah.
So that's when it kind of changed from, wow, I got to hold this guy, keep this guy away from that lady and her family and hold him till, authorities arrive and take him away. It was at that point it changed to, oh my God, I can't let this guy go. This crowd's going to eat him alive. People were straight up like, I'm going to make you famous on TikTok, motherfucker, you pedophile motherfucker. Like, dude, they were going at him. And, I'm staying quiet. I'm just holding on to this dude. And,
not TikTok.
Right. I'm going to make you famous in China.
Right.
But that's how it went. And it was kind of sad. Let me ask
you, did the mother and the baby kind of scoot away? Did they get lost by that point?
Yeah. Well, one guy in the crowd said, hey, dude, you might want to consider letting him go because when cops arrive, they're going to pepper spray both of y'all. They're going to fuck both of you guys up. And then there were other individuals in the crowd going, no, I was here from the beginning. I saw it. All right. We're all witnesses here. This dude tried to snatch a baby and this guy actually is just holding him. We can be witnesses. And then the other guy said, I know. I saw it too. But what I'm saying, when cops arrive and they see people rolling on the ground, they're not going to go, oh, this guy's good, this guy's bad. They're just going to fuck both of you up,
maybe. I don't know about
So that's when we were like, okay, I need the mom here. So I said, hey, let's have the mom on standby because the police will believe her. She'll be like, and then so we started looking around for the mom, and that's when we realized she wasn't there anymore. We're like, oh shoot.
Can't blame her.
Yeah, of course. I don't think she did anything wrong. I think the advice I would give anybody in that situation, is make a lot of noise, get attention. Hopefully people in the crowd help you. And when they do, dude, you have your baby to worry about. You got to bounce. I don't think she did the wrong thing whatsoever. So
you're holding him, you're holding him. And listen, we all know in situations like that, 1 minute feels like friggin' 10 minutes, man.
15 minutes felt like 2 hours.
Yeah, seriously. So what happens? Do the cops roll up? What happens when the cops roll up?
And there's footage of this. About 7, no, actually this was probably 10 minutes in. 10 minutes in, I already transitioned out to my right side of the body. We see a cop van drive by, and in the footage you can hear everyone yelling, yo, 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 hey, 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 hey. And there was this one security guard. The security guard didn't work for Madison Square Park. I think he was just a random security guard that was on his way to work somewhere.
Right.
He was kind of giving us legal advice throughout this whole thing, like unofficially. He was like, yeah. He was like, no, there's something called the Good Samaritan Law where this happens, you can blah, blah, blah. He was kind of giving us pointers. But when we all hollered at the cops and the cops kept driving, he kind of ensured everybody that they'll stop. Because they're like, no, they have to stop. If you're on the sidewalk and you flag them down, they're legally obligated to stop. Don't worry. So the cop does stop. They passed us and stopped. We're like, oh, thank God. And then the cop turns around, looks at us, looks away, and drives off. And then in the video, everyone starts laughing. Everyone's like, oh, shit, are you kidding me? Like, there's 40 people waving you down. You just look at us and drive off. Everyone's like laughing in the video at this point. You see my little head pop up. I'm like, are they not stopping? And they're like, nope. I'm like, oh, okay. Put my head back down. I'm like, wow, I guess I'll keep holding on to this guy. So after that, there was a couple times where the dude tried to, my head's behind him. The dude tried to kind of headbutt me backwards. He tried to shake me off him. He's, using racial slurs, calling people this and that. The guy that was giving us,
he's getting desperate. He sees, even though he's ill, mentally ill, he's coming to the realization that chances are the cops are going to come and he's going to get locked up.
Yeah. I think so too. And then that's when the dude, I would just call him the security guard. Like I said, he doesn't work for the park. This guy, I think, was just on his way to work. The legal advice guy. He got on the phone with the cops again and said, "Hey, your officer just drove off, man. Like this guy just he's trying to headbutt this guy." And then when he said that, the mentally ill man said, "You're a liar. You're a fucking liar," calling him a bunch of racial slurs. And it's like, dude, you did just try to headbutt me a few times, but he's trying to talk his way out of a few things. But eventually what happened was park rangers arrive. Now, I don't know if that's technically what they're called, but they're in the dark green outfits. You see them at Madison Square Park. They're the ones that go up to you and be like, hey, stay off the grass. You know?
But what do they don't carry, what do they have?
They have handcuffs.
Is that right?
Yeah, because they have a utility belt and they have handcuffs. They may even have I don't know if they have pepper spray, but I'm assuming so. But they do have radios. They have all that stuff. Okay. And because they're, I think they're labeled peace officers as opposed to police officers. Hey, we'll take it. And I think they got to have a direct line with dispatch. I'm sure they work hand in hand with them.
And if it's coming from them, it might have a little more gravity. Then if it's a call in Madison Square Park of another,
crazy dude. Sure. Absolutely. It holds more weight when they're making the call. I agree. And so when they arrive on scene, I was happy. I asked them for cuffs and they said they do have cuffs. I'm like, oh, cool. And then 3 minutes pass. I'm like, hey, where are the cuffs? And then someone in the crowd goes, he's getting very tired. We need to cuff him. And then I'm like, yeah, I've been holding on to him for 15 minutes. It's only a matter of time until I lose my grip, man. We really do need cuffs here. And then on the video, you can't hear what the Rangers say back, but the person in the crowd, in response to whatever the Rangers said, the person in the crowd said, then give me the cuffs. I'll cuff him. Just give me the cuffs. I'll cuff him. Right. So in other words, the Rangers were hesitant to cuffing them. And I think this is because of, for legal reasons. They didn't see this go down. They see two dudes rolling around on the ground. Yep. They don't want to get sued. They don't want to cuff the wrong guy. It's obvious that they don't have the immunity that cops have, that if they fuck up, they may get fired. Whereas, cops don't. So they were hesitant about kind of jumping in. But after we, the whole crowd stressed to them like, hey, this didn't just happen. It's been going on for over 15 minutes and this guy's tired. They did eventually bring out the cuffs. I had a good hold on the dude's left arm pinned against him. I tell him, hey, cuff his left arm first, and then we'll roll him over and do the right arm. So they did. They showed up, cuffed the left arm. We transitioned over, rolled him over, brought his right arm back, cuffed him. And then, damn, man, I was so happy to stand up. At that point, my arms are shaking. My arms have been gassed for for so long at this point.
Wow. So do the cops eventually show up to take him away?
Yeah. So this was probably at the 16, 17 minute mark that he was cuffed. I get up, I put on my shoe. It got lost in the scuffle. Some dude rolls up, hands me a freaking container of hand sanitizer. Shout out to that guy.
Yeah,
Probably
I saw. You know what?
safer.
I gotta say. I read. I saw a news report, and you said after 5 minutes, park security arrive, and I asked him for cuffs. A man in the crowd lets them know I was getting tired as I've been holding him for 15 minutes. I asked them to cuff the left hand first where I had good control, then rolled over and cuffed the right hand. I'm then able to stand back on, put on my shoes, and get to Evolution Muay Thai in time for my training. The man got taken to the psych ward. The woman returned to the scene after running off initially to thank everyone. I might have COVID now. I thought it was like, that's another thing.
That's
man.
the end.
Yeah. No, but that's another thing, man, is that, in a lot of ways, I know people take it for granted, but you really took, in a lot of ways, you put your personal safety aside, man. In the middle of a friggin' global pandemic where it's like, we're not even supposed to be near people.
Yeah.
You really stepped up for this woman, man.
Right.
Really did.
There was, I appreciate you saying that, and but that just had to take a back seat. You have to jump in. You have to, and that's why I always recommend training as well. And like jujitsu, it's when it comes to public safety, when it comes to community security, like we shouldn't just come in and start throwing hands. Listen, I get it. Things happen. I run into people all the time. They want to go. I get it. There is a time and place where we should start swinging. I get it. But this wasn't, this was a situation of a kidnapping, which is, kind of extreme, I guess. But even in an extreme situation like this, you're able to de-escalate it and, make sure no one is hurt, whether it's yourself or the person involved or the mom. And you're able to have all parties leave unhurt, and that should always be priority. It's not about smashing dudes and leaving them, in a puddle of their own blood on the sidewalk. And that's gross, man. We shouldn't do that stuff. And please understand, this is coming from a fighter. I get wanting to fight. I get it, but we should all look out for each other, a little less violently.
Absolutely. And from Vinny Stigma, you're a good kid. I'm proud of you. Listen, that's it. Hey, you know what? Show over.
Stigma, dude.
Stigma is watching the show with Danielle, his girlfriend out.
Wow.
And he says, Danielle says, from Vinny Stigma, you're a good kid. I'm proud of you.
Wow. Stigma, thank you, man. Stigma and I have toured a couple times together, and when Outbreak and Agnostic Front went out, and he was always the sweetest dude on tour. He's always goofing around. He would prank call me and leave me voicemails at night. Like, he's a solid guy. Thanks for chiming in, Stigma.
Now, sort of this, what you really kind of put in, and what you executed here was your jujitsu training, correct?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your about your jujitsu training and how it
Sure. There is a little bit of irony there because my skill set actually lies in stand-up fighting. It lies in striking. That's what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
I'm trained in that for a decade. My amateur fights, my professional fights have all been in striking. And but I have trained jiu-jitsu for 4 years of my life. So there is irony there where I'm a Muay Thai fighter here promoting jiu-jitsu. And tell you the truth, I don't even like jujitsu. I don't like training jujitsu. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy rolling on the ground with people. Like I really don't. But I have a lot of respect for it, and because of how necessary it is in a street fight or in a, you know, in a situation where you don't want to hurt someone. Like, I'll put it this way: when you are in a street fight or roll up onto a situation like this where you want to help somebody, the only way you can win if you're striking is to outstrike that guy. And how do you outstrike that guy? You hurt him more than he hurts you. That's how you win. You have to literally hurt this guy. Bam! But in jiu-jitsu, you don't have to do that. You just put them, control their limbs, control their bodies, put them in such, you know, in a compromising position where they can't even hurt you. And you can get out on top. And once you're in these dominant positions as well, you can choose whether you want to apply chokeholds. You can choose whether you want to, you know, put them to sleep, break their wrist, break their elbow, break their knee, snap, whatever. You have that option. Whereas striking, you're just like, yo, I'm just going to swing at this guy's face. I got to just let him have it, you know?
Right.
So that's the difference.
And truth be told, I think in this particular situation, if that would have been the case, then you both would have got arrested. You know, cops would have shown up, and you would have totally both been arrested.
And also when not just cops show up, but when people roll up on the scene and it's a bloody mess, it's a very different vibe.
That's right.
You know, I've rolled up on bloody scenes before, and I'm just like, well, what kind of extreme shit just happened here? You know, the fact that there was no blood, no broken bones, it keeps everything calm. You know, it really does de-escalate the whole situation. That's what's important too.
Absolutely. Let me shout out a couple of sponsors and
sure.
Let's take some questions.
All right, man.
Okay, brother. Well, there you go. Wow. Woo. Crazy. It's a crazy world we live in now. Even my dad's chiming in. What's up, Pop? We need more people who stand up for what they believe in. Brian is a hero. Wow. Even Arnie Stone is chiming in on this one. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, Your Core Hardcore fan page, and the Texas Silver Rush. Texas Silver Rush is a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. And I hope to come down there and visit someday. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo, photos, social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rollet, Ringo Starr. You gotta pay your dues if you want to sing the blues, and you know it don't come easy. In an octopus's garden. And of course, Agnostic Front. Power! During this current pandemic, all information and online sales are being taken. Their Facebook and Instagram page, and of course, www.texassilverrush.com. That said, let's get some questions together for Brian. Want to remind you that tomorrow is Jay Peta from Mindforce. This Wednesday, we have our old friend and big bopper, Eugene S. Robinson. Another MMA guy, author, musician, Eugene Robinson, coming up on Wednesday. Also on Sunday, a week from tomorrow, get your shoes and socks on, kids. This is a big one. We got Moby coming on the show. Animal rights activist, old school hardcore kid. We're stoked on this. Here we go, yo. Moby's coming on the show. And then the show after that, ain't no stopping us now. Glenn Matlock from the Sex Pistols is coming on the show. Come on. Right? What? Glenn Matlock's coming on the show. Come on. Woo! Or as Ric Flair would say, woo! All right? And just a couple more real quick. Get your questions together. A couple more real quick. On Sunday, December 6th, Mike Judge, one of the big guns, coming on the show. December 9th, Nancy Burrell coming on the show to celebrate the release of her new book, I'm Not Holding Your Coat. We're looking forward to that one. She's an old school Philly hardcore gal. Lots of great old school Philly folklore, hardcore stuff. And she moved to Boston in the Boston hardcore heyday. December 13th, Gary Meskel from the Crumb Suckers and Propane. And then, of course, December 16th, Mr. Todd Morse from The Offspring, H2O, and Juliet in the Licks. That's someone I got to get on this show. I got to get Juliette Lewis on this show. I think that would be. I think that would be kind of right on. That said, I think we covered pretty much. We covered a lot. Let's get Chippy Love. What's up, Chippy Love? Hope you're well. Steve Malibu, yeah, man. Yes, Stephanie Gonzalez Duran. I know you love the Texas Silver Rush. I know you are the number one fan. And Joe, I am going to come down to Texas. Someday I'm going to leave this apartment. I don't know when, but when I do, I'm coming to Texas. That said, how about some questions? Let's bring. Yeah, where is Chucky today? Actually, you know what? I don't know if Chucky even knows we had a show today. It all happened so fast. That happened quick. There you go. Okay, here you go. Let's bring Brian back on. Here you go, Brian. What's up, man?
What's up, dudes?
Okay, so okay, a little humor to kick it off from Upstate Rick. So you practice martial arts and play in several hardcore bands. Are you also a barber, completing the hardcore hat trick?
No, I'm into brewing beers.
Is that right?
No, I'm just kidding. That's the other route. You're either a barber or you brew beers. That's it. There's no other option.
Okay. Maddie says, am I wrong, or did Chris from Cruel Hand play guitar in Outbreak, or is that just another band named Outbreak?
No, that's it. Chris, who sang in Cruel Hand, did play in Outbreak, and he is actually who I replaced.
Okay.
He went on to kind of do the Cruel Hand thing because that band was picking up and he couldn't do both bands. So he quit Outbreak to kind of pursue that. And that's when I got that call from Brian and said, hey, we want to write a new record. You want to write a new record with us? And then I flew to New York City.
That's great. Oh, Joe James, I don't know if we want to really, get into this. You know what? Here we go. Thomas, does Brian keep up? Thomas Starkey says, does Brian keep up with the Hong Kong and Taiwan hardcore scenes?
The Hong Kong one, yes. When I'm there, I call Riz up, and actually a couple years ago when I was there, Comeback Kid toured through.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was cool. We all went out and hung out and, went to the show, and it was definitely very, very, very cool. But yeah, when I'm in Hong Kong, I do stop by, and I do stop by the skate shops and record stores still. And I do see Joe's comment and question, and I can touch on that for a second. Let's address it.
Joe James says, question for Brian. What happened with Fox and Friends? The real news.
Right. So what happened was when this whole thing went down, the 7 days that followed, it was nuts. ABC, NBC, Fox News, everyone reached out for interviews and comments and such. But eventually, Fox and Friends, that morning talk show, a lady from there got a hold of me. She found my number, got a hold of me, and invited me to go do the morning talk show with them. So I gave them a call. And, I wanted to be transparent with them. I didn't want to go on a show and punk anybody. I didn't want to go on a show where they probably wanted to say, tell us this terrifying story. And then I was just going to talk about how this guy had mental problems and he needed help and we should people should have access to that kind of help, and we should live in a more passionate society where, you know, we take care of each other. You know, they probably just want to talk about how scary everything is. So I wanted to be transparent with them. I said, listen, I don't know if your viewers are going to be happy about my talking points. I'm not just going to be talking about the violent side of things. I just want to be transparent, you know, with you guys. I'm sure whoever's interviewing me wants to navigate the conversation a certain way, but I don't want to just come on and talk about how mothers shouldn't bring children out these days because everyone's going to get kidnapped. You know, I didn't want to do that fear tactic stuff. So the really nice lady from Fox, she said, thank you for being transparent, and let me talk to my producers. So she got back to me probably an hour and a half later and said, dude, we can't do the show. Like, I'm thank you for being honest with us, and I'm glad you told me, but we can't run that show. So, you know, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, that's fine by me. I just want to, you know, I want to make sure we're on the same page before you take me onto a huge morning America talk show. So it actually ended up, you know, okay. So that's what
I think so. And listen, I'm you know, I'm thrilled and honored that, you know, I reached out to you and you got back to me 5 minutes later and said you'd love to come on the show. And that means a lot to me and to my people, you know, to our hardcore community around the world, you know?
Great. Thank you, man. It's my pleasure. And I'm actually happy someone like you reached out, because at that point, you know, we got to address a lot of stuff. Not just the, you know, not just the scare tactic stuff, but that's what all reporters were reporting at the time. Yeah. So eventually I told certain reporters when they would call, like, this was like 10 interviews in. So by the 11th interview, I was like, listen.
You know what I wanted to ask you was, like, so we heard the story, but like, how did that accelerate like that? Where like, I mean, there was an incident and then what? Like, how did they all converge on you? Did you give, I mean, I know you didn't advertise it. Like, how did they all converge on you like that?
What happened was, it happened on a Monday, and then I posted it on my Facebook on Monday night just to address, actually, it was just to address jujitsu pretty much. Okay. Saying how we can't just, you know, in a matter of community security, we can't just rely on cops. We shouldn't just rely on just taking our guns and shooting people. We need to learn this stuff so we can have a decent, you know, compassionate society. And we don't even have to think nationally, just within your own community where you live, the 8 blocks around your house, you know? So I made that statement, and then it was kind of, you know, people shared it on social media. And then it happened on Monday. On Friday, Pix 11 News, which is a New York, you know, local news.
Hey, hey, listen, we're New Yorkers, Pix 11, right?
Yeah, Pix 11. They got a hold of me and did an interview on Friday that aired Friday night at 10 p.m. I went to bed. Saturday morning, woke up, saw that there was an article written with Daily Mail UK. And
I saw that's the first one I saw.
Right. And then Saturday, another 12 hours pass. And then my phone just started ringing from Saturday night till like yesterday. Yesterday, the DA's office called me yesterday. Like, anyone from, you know, major networks, local networks, people that want to do interviews for, you know, their website, media companies that wanted to sign licensing deals on the footage, that wanted to sell to CNN and Fox News, stuff like that, and the DA's office. Like, it was just, dude, non-stop. So when you reached out, I was like, oh, here's a show where I can, like, kind of talk about stuff that it's a talk show where I'm not going to be censored, because I won't name the network, but there was an interview I was doing, and when I addressed the things I wanted to, I heard the guy stop typing. So when I was talking, he's typing, and then I was like, yo, and the cops showed up, they looked at us, they drove off, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wait, the keyboards aren't going. So eventually I asked him about that. I'm like, you didn't type that down, did you? He's like, he starts laughing. He goes, I only have so many words to put in there, you know? I'm like, all right, buddy. But
well, you know, listen, let's address that for a second. Because, you know, you and I talked beforehand, and, you know, we don't do politics on this show. I've always, you know, this show was created as an alternative, you know, to all that stuff that's going on in the world. I wanted to create something where people could turn away from that stuff and come here, you know, to this community. So, you know, for a show that it really, you know, shuns politics, this, your story resonated so much for me, and as a New Yorker, I felt like that in a certain way. This story is not really about politics.
Right.
You know, politics. Yeah, it comes into play a little bit, but you know, this is a humanitarian situation. This is a mother that's you know, this is basic shit, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like people out there can go on about out the side of their necks about this and that, but this is basic stuff here, man. This isn't about Republicans or Democrats or any of that.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And a bunch of the comments I got when the news kind of took over and ran its cycle,
I saw
a lot of the comments were
upsetting.
Yeah, a lot of stuff were wholesome. A lot of people were saying very nice things, and I appreciated. I really appreciated people that also mentioned the fact that I didn't hurt the mentally ill man as well.
That's
you know,
right.
I'm glad that certain people recognize that. But there was a lot of chatter about how a bullet could have solved this. This guy deserves nothing but a bullet. I should have snapped his neck while you had him in that hold. And it's like, man, people, you know, they went on my Instagram and they, you know, there was a backlash to it because people started saying stuff like, please don't tell me who I should help and who I shouldn't. You know, this guy clearly just deserves a bullet to the head. And they would just say like things like that, which was just, fuck, I feel like if anything, this situation is literal video evidence of how you can do this stuff non-violently. You know,
Right.
Sure, I was at the right place at the right time, but the point is, it's possible. You don't need to fucking blow a guy's head. You know, you don't gotta, you know, beat the dude's face in. You don't have to do any of that. So you're right. It's not about politics as far as, you know, Republicans or Democrats or anything. It really is just like about treating people with a little bit of you know, little less hostile, little less violent, a little less, you know, that stuff.
Yeah, and you know, we live in a country right now that's so polarized. You know what I mean? It's just like it's so intense that even something as basic as this, people turn it into, you know.
Yeah, I don't get it. Listen,
It's unbelievable. And you know, one thing also I want to address, and I know this is a bold thing to address on this show, but I want to say something about the police in New York City. And I have friends that are in law enforcement, and I have friends that loathe law enforcement. And I'm born and raised in New York City, and I live here now. And the cops in New York City have a very difficult job right now. It's very difficult. You know, the mayor. You know, the cops hate the mayor hates the cops. It is just a very difficult and tough situation. And, you know, all cops aren't bad, you know, and all cops aren't good. People are people. And I think, you know, painting in wide swaths is irresponsible to say that all cops are bad or all cops are good. It's just the lay of the land. In New York City right now is really a battle zone. That's it.
It's I'll touch on that a little bit, just like maybe a 10-second thing.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to get into it because you know, that's another conversation that's another 3 hours.
I opened it up. I know I just opened it up, bro. I know I did.
But no, there's a little bit that I want to point out is it's not that all cops are bad people. Like, it's not like we're not saying, you know, no one's saying that they're bad fathers, bad neighbors, bad brothers, beat their kids, whatever. You know, no one's saying that they're not paying their rent and fucking stealing from grocery stores or doing quote unquote bad things. People are, I know some people, you know, bring up the issues about how cop culture, there's an issue there. You know, there's an issue with cop culture, not individual police.
Right.
So there is something broken about, you know, how many times you got to kill unarmed people, you know? Like, I don't know what the answer is, but can we at least admit something in your culture is broken? And that's how we should, you know, start the conversation. So you're totally right. I have friends that I train with in law enforcement.
Yeah,
I actually have buddies on my fight team that are cops, and you're right. They're not bad people, but we're not talking about specific cops, individual cops. We're talking about a culture, and something does need to change, I think. But like I said, that's a 3-hour conversation.
and Michelle Monona says there isn't enough training for cops, especially when it comes to learning de-escalation. I
couldn't agree more.
Of NYPD, and even they say that.
That's really cool, and I'm glad that some of them, the cops that she talked to said that. At first you got to recognize these things. If it's a culture that's really into violence, you see cops in the subway all the time talking like, "Yo, I fucked that dude up," blah 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 blah. Like there's something broken about the culture that needs to be addressed and changed, and it's not going to change overnight. It's not even going to change in a period of 12 months. This stuff's, it's a generational thing. Hopefully when we have this conversation 10, 12 years from now, it's a little different,
Absolutely. And like we've alluded to, violence breeds violence.
Yeah, dude.
And right now, the culture, in America, it really leans towards that, but I will say this, there is change in the air.
Yes.
And, there is change in the air, and let's go with that.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, right. We'll take it for now. Let's bring. Hey, Ratbones, you out there? You want to come on? Let's see when Ratbones when he shows up. What else? Let me see. Anything else? What else? Hey, Ratbones, there he is. Hey, buddy.
What's up, guys?
What's up, dude?
Now, Ratbones, listen. I know where you live, Ratbones. And you live right. Did you see that question? That's a great one. Todd, Brian's favorite Bruce Lee movie. That's a great one. That is awesome.
Bruce Lee.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's gotta be Enter the Dragon.
I know, man. Enter the Dragon is
yeah.
Hey, Brian, it's you're a humble guy, man. You're a really good guy.
Oh, what's up, dude?
But I'll tell you what, it comes down to honor, and I'm not a martial artist. I don't know how to fight. You're common. You piss me off enough, I'll try to swing on you and knock you out with one punch, kind of guy.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, there's been incidences in the city, man. Someone put their hand on my kid once. We were riding bikes. I'm not going to out-hero you, because that's the one thing I really dig about you is you're not thinking of it that you didn't want for this to give you attention or anything. You just did what you felt was right in the moment. Mm. And we were riding the bicycles on 10th Avenue, and a guy just reached over, a homeless guy. He reached over and touched my kid. Yo, I put my kid on the other side of the truck over there, and, I mopped the guy up a little bit. I had to show my son that you don't let anyone just touch you like that. It was crazy.
Right. But Ratbones, I want to say also, I know where you live.
Also saying is once you get involved with an altercation, you're in it. I didn't really want to hurt the guy. Just got me. I snapped.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So I really appreciate it. I always was into that philosophy of martial arts is to end the situation with no harm to either side, where you have total control of it and you can end it without really breaking someone up or getting yourself hurt. So we are proud of you, and you represent the hardcore community on that level. Hey,
Thank you.
It shows that, we might have been villainized our whole lives from the styles we had or the differences we had in society, but we're really the good guys, man. I see myself more John Wayne than I do Sid Vicious. In that,
right?
You know what I'm saying? As honorable, just keeping it real, man.
Thank you for your kind words. It really is nice of you to say, and the points that you addressed there, it's really nice. Thank you, and I do appreciate it. I do take it to heart, and I agree that I feel like we've always looked at ourselves as the good guys, but sometimes we question it because society doesn't look at us as the good guys. You walk around with a throat tattoo. Like when was the last time someone treated you like a good guy, right? So, but you're right. In situations like this, it does feel a little good to be like, I always thought I was the good guy, but something happened, and aha, I was right.
Yes.
Hopefully the world can see me, when they see some dude tatted up walking down the street, like, oh, hopefully other people can see me as a good guy too. And that it was very cool of you to point out. Thank you. I appreciate your words.
And thanks for being on. And Luke has a quick question.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Luke.
While I was playing Fortnite, thank you for giving me a story to listen to.
He really, he doesn't pay attention all the time, but he really paid attention to you, dude. Like,
Oh wow,
a role model,
that's cool, man. That's really, really cool. I didn't know. I should have said little swear words if I knew there was a kid in the room.
That's fine, man. He seen worse, I mean,
there we go.
Now these
All
kids,
right, Rat Bones. Thank you, Rat Bones. And what I was trying to say before was, Rat Bones, I know where you live. I've been over there, and you live really in a hectic, and I'm going to say the word dangerous neighborhood, man. I mean, you're right by Madison Square Garden. There's a lot going on around there. There's those little parks around your place. There's a lot of drugs. There's a lot of
it's open air, man. It's
open air. It's really, I've been through there, man, and it's a hectic place. And every time you go outside your place, man, you got to be on alert, man. I'll say that about where you live, bro.
Well, I also do believe in, like the way you said, do good things and good things will happen. That's kind of a karmatic statement. It's like I can have an invisible force. What do they say in Taoism? The tiger cannot claw what he cannot touch. The spear cannot pierce. It's real in your inner being to have that protection around you where you're walking through life. And as long as you don't start none, there won't be none. Because if I wanted to go out the door every day, I could I could get into it with some crazy.
Right.
Yeah, you can't, man. You it's a full-time job over there, man.
Back to the mentally ill. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been more than one incident than just my son. I stopped the guy from grabbing a woman walking her dog one morning. Same thing. When we went to come to have blows, she already ran away with the dog, and he's going, I just wanted to grab. He had her in his grip.
Wow.
And I'm walking down the street from the flea market, and I see this happen. She runs off. So I'm like, yo, man, what you want to do, bitch? You want to get down with a fucking someone who could push you off? And then it went to blows, and then I realized I walked off, because what am I really going to do? Sunday fucking morning. It's like, enough is enough,
All right, man. Thanks, Rat Bones. We'll see. Hey, we'll see you soon, man.
Thank you,
guys.
Yeah. Look, Rat Bones chiming in with dropping some knowledge. Rat Bones, Listen, listen. Rat Bones neighborhood makes my neighborhood look like Beverly Hills, bro. I'm up here on the west side. I'm good.
I actually, you told me what neighborhood he's in. I'm right next to him.
Oh.
I live directly right next to him. I'm a 7-minute walk from MSG.
Yeah.
so I know some of the same characters he probably sees every single day.
It's crazy. Hey, man, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'm speaking for the hardcore worldwide community, we're proud of you, man. You're in our fucking family, man, and you're welcome back here anytime, bro. I mean that.
Thank you. That's very nice. I appreciate it. It was my honor to be here, and I'm happy I did. Thank you for having me.
Do you want to shout anybody out on the way?
You know what? I do. It is unrelated to hardcore, but it is in direct relation to your shirt. If anybody out there in New York City want to do good, there is a organization called Kitty Kind. It is a foster and adopt, rescue organization. It's getting cold out there. A lot of stray cats. People are out there rescuing them, but once they do, they're taken to these shelters. And if people don't, adopt them, they get, they get killed. So you can sign up and be a foster where you babysit these cats until someone else adopts them, or you can just adopt straight from the organization. So the organization is called Kitty Kind, and they are out of, they're the ones with the cats that are inside Petco in Union Square. That's them. All the cats you see in those cages, they're all up for adoption. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
And there's Brian's Instagram is scrolling underneath. Follow him on Instagram, check him out. And hey, I'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you, Drew. Have a good one, guys.
Take care, man.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, there you go. Wow. Woo. We got into a little politics today. I hope we didn't spook anybody. You know, I know it's very out of character for this show, but you know, this was special and this was important. You know, this is someone from our community, our worldwide community that really stepped up, and I really felt that it was important to have him on here. That said, yes, Phil, thank you. It was a great bonus show. I see you out there, everybody. It was fun. Stephanie, Stephanie, are you a show regular now? Are you a show regular now, Stephanie Gonzalez Duran? I hope so. You know, thank you. And yeah, it was appropriate. You know, it was appropriate. Tomorrow is Jay Peter on the show. Listen, thank you, May. That's very kind of you. And listen, I'm very fortunate that I'm doing something that I really love doing. And I'm enabled to do it because of your support. And who would have thunk that this show would have taken off the way that it has? Not me. Not me. And hey, Larry Kelly, be careful. Don't. I hope you're listening and not watching the show. You know, that said, man, I'm just a really fortunate guy doing something he really loves doing with your support. So so that said, I'll see you back here tomorrow. We got another show with Jay Peter. Until then, merch link underneath. Hold on. Wait. Keep up the good work. See you tomorrow. Yes, Nicole, yeah, yes. Hey, I truly enjoy your show. Hey, Nicole, well, please come back. And listen, wait, who's that? Maddie, you want to stop being a lurker? I dare you to stop being a lurker. I dare you. You know? This is it. This is the new line. It's all on there. Do good things and good things will come to you. You know, pick something up for your guy or your gal. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good Saturday night, everybody. Until then, do good things and good things will come to you.